Good evening, everyone. It is Tuesday, December 14th, 2021 at 6 p.m. And this is the regular meeting of the Michigan City Board of Zoning Appeals. Aaron Borngraber will now do the roll call.
Ms. Janice.
I'm here.
Mr. Klinder. Let the record reflect Mr. Klinder is not here. Mr. Novell.
Present.
Mr. Zimmer.
Present.
And Ms. Stransky.
Present.
Attorney Steve Hale.
Present.
And Aaron Borngraber, Assistant Planning Director, is also present.
Thank you, Aaron. The next item is to approve the minutes from our November meeting, November 9th. I assume everybody had a chance to review those. Are there any changes to be made?
There's no changes. I move that the minutes from the November 9th meeting be approved.
Second that. Second.
Ms. Janice.
Yes.
Mr. Novell.
Yes.
Mr. Zimmer.
Yes.
Ms. Stransky.
Yes.
The motion for approval of the November 9th minutes have been approved.
Next item is there's no petitions this evening, so we're going to move right into old business, which is approval of findings and orders for two petitions that we heard last month. And Mr. Hale will guide us through that.
Thank you, Mr. Zimmer. You will recall, members of the Board of Zoning Appeals, that we had two petitions before us last month on November 9th, at which time we held public hearings. And what I have for you are the decision and findings of fact for your approval. You previously should have received them by electronic transmission last week, and I've also set forth a copy for each of you. So the first one was a decision and findings of fact for petition number B-122-21. The petitioner and owner was Clarence Davis. Mr. Davis was asking for, as it turned out, two things: a special exception use and a use variance. Findings set out that the property was zoned both B2 in the front and the rear R1D. The petitioner therefore was requesting a special exception use to allow the operation of a used car sales lot in the B2 General Commercial District and a use variance to operate a used car sales lot in the rear half, the one that is zoned R1D of the same property. The board made the findings that are set out on the written document that you have in front of you as to the special exception use. You found that you would approve that special exception use, but subject to the following condition. Petitioner must continue to maintain the existing 6-foot privacy fence located in the rear of the property, which provides the buffer between the commercial and residential use. Following that approval, subject to that condition, this board then considered the use variance. You again made findings that are set out in front of you. And again, you approve the request for the use variance, but subject to the same condition. That is, the petitioner must continue to maintain the existing 6-foot privacy fence located in the rear of the property, which provides the buffer between the commercial and residential use. Then, based upon the petitions, the presentation of the petitioner, the documents, testimony, remonstrances, and other matters brought forth during the public hearing held on November 9th of this year, and subject to the conditions that I read out, this body approved and granted petition number B-122-21 on November 9th of 2021. You have that in front of you. I've summarized it for you. I think an appropriate motion would be to approve the decision and findings of fact for this petition B-122-21 as presented in written form.
Thank you, Mr. Hale. Is there a motion then?
Yeah, I move that we approve the decision of finding of facts and grant petition B-122-21.
I second that.
I just want to make sure that you're, in accepting the findings, that you're including those conditions.
Yes.
Yes. Second. She's nodding her head yes, so I think that's. a
Yes, there's a motion and a second.
Ms. Janice,
Yes.
Mr. Novell,
Yes.
Mr. Zimmer,
Yes.
Ms. Stransky.
Yes.
The motion for approving the findings for petition B-122-21 has been approved.
The second decision and findings in fact in front of you is for petition number B-123-21. The petitioner is Richard W. Gill. The owners were Richard W. Gill and Mary Loretta Gill. Their request was for a development standards variance for property at 6228 East Briar Road. Again, we held a public hearing on November 9th, 2021. The petition was requesting a development standards variance to allow for the construction of a second detached accessory building. This board made findings that supported the petition to allow the second detached building, but subjected approval to the following condition. First, all remaining provisions of section 16.02 residential accessory buildings of our zoning ordinance shall be enforced. And two, the structure shall have a minimum setback of 200 feet from the front property line and a minimum setback of 100 feet from the western and eastern side lot line. Based on the petition, the documents and testimony and remonstrances and other matters brought forth in our public hearing on November 9th, and the testimony in the matter, and subject to the conditions that I just read verbatim, this body made the findings and granted the petition B-123-21 on November 9, 2021. Again, an appropriate motion would be to approve the decision and findings of fact as distributed in written form to you.
Thank you, Mr. Hill. Is there a motion then?
I'd like to move that we accept the decision of finding of facts and that petition B-123-21 be granted to include the two conditions.
I second that.
There's a motion and a second.
Ms. Janice,
Yes.
Mr. Novell,
Yes.
Mr. Zimmer,
Yes.
Ms. Stransky.
Yes.
The findings of fact for petition B-123-21 have been approved.
Thank you, Aaron. Moving on, is there any new business to discuss this evening from anybody on this board or the plan department? Hearing none, is there any public comment related to anything this evening? Any of the petitions or? Not hearing any public comment then, public comment period is closed. And with that, I guess we are adjourned until the December meeting, January meeting. I don't have the date. It's the second Tuesday in January at 6 p.m.
I'd like to wish everybody a happy holiday. Everybody stay safe.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Lester.
Merry Christmas.
Where do we leave these?
We are adjourned.